Hi, my name is Kibonen Style. I'm a fashion designer and I'm the founder of Kibonen, the brand. I started fashion in 2010 when I became inspired by the traditional regalia of the Bamileke and Bamenda people, northwest and western regions of Cameroon. And I decided to venture into making it more modern, more trendy and accessible to the global space. I started it literally because I had come back to Cameroon on vacation, and when I got to Cameroon I realized that living in New York City is very easy to get lost in the world with every kind of person. So for me, I thought for me to stand out in New York City, I should be more authentic in the way I dress up, And so when I came back to Cameroon, I started looking at my culture with different eyes. I started appreciating the togo, the Ankara materials that were used, and I decided to make a little black dress for myself. When I came back to the US, I wore it and it gained a lot of attention. So one day I wore the dress to work and there was a lady who walked up to me and she asked me, "Did you buy this dress from upstairs?" And I looked at the dress, I was like, no, I just had this dress made for me back home. She's like, "The embroidery, is it handmade?" I was like, yeah, this embroidery is called the togo. It's the traditional embroidery that we make on the garments which the royalty wear. And she was like, "I would want one." And I was like, "This?" She said, "Yeah." When she asked me if I bought it from upstairs, in my mind, I was like, bought this from upstairs? Buying it from upstairs means she's asking if I bought it from the same place like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Fendi, Burberry, Prada, Escada. I was like, no, I had this made from back home. And she was like, she wanted it. I thought she was kidding. She actually advanced it. And when I told her the price, I was like, it's about $300. She thought it was actually very inexpensive considering that all of the embroidery was done with the hand. But then she requested it, and then I reached out to my mom and my sister and I asked them to do it for me. They did it, they sent it to me, I delivered it to her, and she was very, very, very happy. That is how I started. But I think what stuck on my mind was when she asked me if I bought it from upstairs. And for me, if you say bought it from upstairs, it means that that dress had the possibility of being sold in Saks Fifth Avenue or Bloomingdale's or Macy's or anywhere like that. That was really what started my parcours as a fashion designer. I started fashion just by being inspired by the culture, but then I realized that there was much more to fashion than just making garments. So I decided to go back to school where I learned how to be a fashion designer. I also learned international trade and marketing in the fashion industries, because considering that I was inspired by the traditional regalia of the people of the northwest region of Cameroon, I had to figure out how to make this more interesting to the clients. I had to figure out who my clients were, and then I had to make it in a way that it was economically remunerating for me. So international trade and marketing in the fashion industries for me was also an important aspect to add to learning how to be a fashion designer. So I have a degree in fashion design and I have a certification in international trade and marketing in the fashion industries. I equally own a certification in image consulting, because for me all of these things go together. Leaving a mark in fashion was what came natural to me. So I decided to give it a try. I did not leave the bank because there was anything wrong with it, but I just realized that I needed different opportunities. Not necessarily better opportunities, but different opportunities. That's the first reason why I moved to the United States. I wanted different opportunities. I felt a little bit stifled by the opportunities that I had in Cameroon because I thought there was no job I could apply for which I would not get. When I used to do my sketches, the one person that I had in my mind whom I wanted to wear my outfits was Lupita Nyong'o. And the reason I wanted Lupita Nyong'o was because when she came into the world of film, she was a huge inspiration to me. When Lupita won the Oscars, I remember that night I was watching and I said, if Lupita can do it, I can do it. And while I was in school, I used to always sketch Lupita as my bodice before I sketched the garments on. So I have a lot of sketches where you'll see Lupita's face face before you see. I kind of feel like I manifested Lupita wearing my dresses, to be honest. I thought she was an excellent role model for the African girl. Lupita wearing my dress was not a joke for me, because she wore 2 of my dresses out of a selection of thousands and thousands of dresses. Because before she puts on any dress, she must have tried over 2,000 dresses. You will never even imagine. So for me, it was something for huge celebration, and I'm proud. That's one of the things I've done for which I'm the most proud of. One of the things that has worked greatly to my favor is social media. And when I started fashion, the only tool I had to expose what I was doing was Facebook at the time. And I maximized my use of Facebook. I was very visual on Facebook. I was very vocal on Facebook. And I was very confident in what I was doing, because I knew that I was bringing something different and new to the world of fashion. Bringing the traditional togo and the traditional ndop to the world of fashion was something innovative, revolutionary, period. I was very unapologetic about that, and I was very interested in seeing the revolution, not just for the fact that I was bringing that to the world of fashion, but because I knew that I was also rebuilding the confidence of the average Cameroonian. Why? Because Cameroonians have a very, very great tradition, the togo, the ndop. We have all these traditions, but then I realized that a lot of Cameroonian women, or Cameroonians as a whole, at that time when they were doing like traditional weddings and all, they would travel to Nigeria, buy the gele, buy the ashoke and all of that, and that was what they would wear. And I always asked myself, now that I was interested in the tradition, I was like, but why is it that Cameroonian women, when they want to do traditional weddings or whatever, they will go buy lace, they will go buy ashoke, they will go buy gele? That is not our tradition. But today, between me and you would tell me that all Cameroonian women, when they're about to get married, their first instinct is to check who can do them a traditional regalia, a traditional ndop dress, a traditional togo dress, but in the form of a traditional wedding dress. That is the revolution that I was very unapologetic about bringing, 1, to the Cameroonians, and 2, to the world of fashion. Look at where the togo is today. Look at where the ndop is today. When I started at that time, nobody paid attention to it. So for me, being successful in transforming the mindset of the average Cameroonian, in bringing the togo to the world, is just testament to hard work, vision, and confidence. Being successful in this field was something that I was very intentional about, because for one, I don't put my mind on something and it's a fail. Navigating the fashion world, and I'm not gonna lie, in a place like New York City, it's not for the faint-hearted. There has been a universal force that has really, really supported me all through. I've not only dressed up Lupita, I have dressed up Justin Sky, who is a pop artist. I have dressed up Gayle King, who is a TV broadcaster, Oprah Winfrey's best friend. I have dressed up Wizkid. I have done in his videos with Drake and all of that. So there are so many things I've done. I've been able to be on the top fashion weeks in the world. I've been in New York Fashion Week not one time. I've been featured in magazines like Vogue, Cosmopolitan, Ebony, Essence. I've been GQ. I've been in all of these spaces. And I think the one thing that I know that I have, which I'm completely unapologetic about, is confidence, faith, and I stay humble, looking at the vision that I have. There is something special in everybody. If a man can make $1 billion, a woman can make $1 billion, but you're not making $1 billion because you're competing with a man. You're making the $1 billion because it is inside of you. You have the capacity to do anything that you put your mind to. To be honest, the world has made the woman think she occupies an inferior place, but the woman is actually very superior. The world has made the woman think she has to depend on or rely on a man or on the husband and all of that. But the woman has the potential to do even more. young ladies, you are powerful, you are strong. There is so much you can do for yourself. I'm a living example. I used to be the kind of girl whom every man wanted to be with and every man wanted to have to do something with. But the moment I realized that there was a lot inside of me, I became the master of my life. I did things which were unconventional. I did things which was tough. I ventured into a field that had nobody like me in it. But I ventured into that field. The only things I had, again, like I said, was confidence, trust in my capacity, trust in the vision that God had given me. And I trusted the fact that God who put this thing in my heart would take it till the end.